princesses! Today I'm going to be talking about the Holika Hardcover Glow Stick Foundation. I picked this one up because I've tried quite a few of the Hardcover Glow products before, and I was very interested. I do enjoy the thought of a stick foundation, but to be honest, none of them have really worked out well for me. Though I have to say, in terms of a stick foundation, this has been my favourite stick foundation I have tried. I'm gonna have to say ever, because I just have a general dislike of stick foundations. And the reason being is that it's like super silicone-y, so when I spread it out on the skin I can actually use like a cushion puff to blend it in or a buffing brush, and it doesn't look cakey. Hallelujah. However, there are a few issues that come with the high silicone level, so if you would like to hear more about this, I will tell you soon. I totally forgot to put the product description in there for the stick foundation, so once it loads up, let's have a look. Okay, so the product description says, an anti-wrinkle brightening product with UV protection of SPF 50 plus PA++++. Offers instant hydration and cooling effect to the skin with glacial water and phytocomplex. Gives a healthy and dewy glow for translucent skin. Adheres closely to skin all day long without darkening for a matte glowing finish. Protects the skin from external aggressors with Polybarrier TM formula. So this one, the packaging is really pretty, although every time I open it, when I pull, I feel like I'm pulling the wrong thing, because I feel like this little cap here is like the cap, and I'm going to pull the cap off and then the product is going to come out from here, but actually it's the other way around. I mean, if you hold two sides and pull, it's going to come out the right way either way. So it's not problematic. It's just every time I do it, I feel like I'm holding this part and I'm going to use that as a stick, and that's the cap. And why is it important? It's not. But the packaging is really functional. So the stick is in a little wind-up container like you would normally expect from a stick foundation, and it makes it really easy to apply, which is great. I think that the packaging is really pretty as well. It's that rosy sort of gold, and like the top is like a pearlescent sort of finish too, which is really pretty. I picked the shade 1, which looking at it doesn't say anything on here, but it is Warm Ivory. So this one is quite a light shade. It is on the warm side. It's not quite yellow enough for me, but honestly it's pretty close. It's better than today's foundation, which is not this one. I feel like the colour balance is slightly off still, but teething issues, we'll get there. Please excuse the giant clip for the fringe. It's so long that it's like touching my eyeballs and I hate it. So I'm going to start with this side of my face as normal. This part of my fringe hates me, but that's okay. And I'm just going to draw some squiggles like that basically. And I'm going to use a cushion puff to blend everything in. I have used brushes and things like that before, but I find that the cushion puff gives me the best application. The foundation itself is really smooth and really easy to apply as well. Kind of feels quite silicone-y, which I think is a pro and a con. I feel like because it is so silicone-y, it does kind of melt a little throughout the day as well, but because it's silicone-y, it kind of melts really nicely onto the skin to start with, so I don't feel like it looks cakey or is difficult to blend out or anything like that. So pros and cons. So that is what one half of my face looks like. I quite like the colour. It's slightly light, I think, maybe, but otherwise it's pretty tolerable. And one layer gives really nice light to medium coverage. I can still see freckles, scars and things like that, but overall my skin looks really even and nice. I do find that if I put a second layer on, it is going to melt a lot more throughout the day, so I don't recommend that particularly, but you know, it depends on your skin as well. So my skin is slightly oily. It is no, it's not winter. It is summer here in New Zealand. Of course it is February. We have got the opposite seasons to most other people, so it's probably not my favourite choice for the season, but I do genuinely enjoy the foundation, and I'm kind of wondering what it's going to be like in winter, because there have been some days where I've worn this and it's been so melty and gross basically, like there's not even a better word to describe that. And then there have been some days where the weather is a little bit cooler and it's been totally fine, so it's a 50-50. Okay, so this is how we're looking with the full face on. It is quite nice. It is clinging slightly to some drier areas, especially on my forehead today. and it doesn't do a huge amount for texture, so I can definitely see a lot of texture on the skin. So I've got a bit of dryness in here, but definitely for texture it's not the most flattering. So you can see, like, I mean obviously my skin does have texture on it, like pores and things like that, but foundations usually cover them up a little bit more, so it's not the most flattering thing ever. So I'm going to do the rest of my makeup and check in with you guys a little later. Okay, so the foundation has been on since 9 AM. It is before 9 AM because I would have done it before school. When did I even leave the house today? Left at 8:30, so I probably put it on at 8 AM this morning. 3:22 at the moment, so 8 till 3, not bad. 7.5-ish hours, and it's actually looking pretty good today. I will insert a video that I took the other day when I was wearing it where it looked atrocious because it's a 50-50 with this foundation. I have to say also that I have obviously been wearing my glasses, but I had to wipe my eyes, like this part of my eye, a few times today because the mascara was smudging, so you can see it, and that doesn't normally happen. Like, it looked tragic, it was really bad. And yes, my fringe is still really long. I'm thinking, because I don't have time to go in and get it cut, I think I might just cut it myself. Can't turn out that bad, and it's got to be less annoying than it currently is because oh my god, it looks atrocious. So back to the foundation. It's actually not looking too bad. I have wiped away a fair amount, and you can see definitely for sure the glasses marks are pretty intense. Turn the exposure down a bit. Ooh. That's a bit better. So you can see panda marks. This will be third eye wipe of the day, where I'm trying to gently blend the foundation back in over the marks without, see how, like, oh, I hate doing it because it stretches like my eye skin and it's not great for it, but that's okay. You can see the glasses marks. There's also glasses marks here. It's a bit oily, but honestly it's not too bad. You can see a lot of texture though, so especially when you turn the exposure down. How's the fringe? Well, how's underneath the fringe? It's okay. You can see a lot of texture though, obviously, so alright, not bad. Definitely tolerable, but I'm going to insert the footage that I took the other day in the car park when I was wearing it, which was last Friday. This means nothing to you guys because you don't know what day it is. It's like half a week ago, and I'll show you what it looked like then. But otherwise, I'm going to check in with you guys at the end of the day, which is probably going to be like 7 or 8 PM. So I'll be back. So I'm sitting in the car and I'm using my phone camera, which I don't know what the thing is, because my foundation is looking pretty atrocious. Like, look how shiny that nose is. Oh my goodness, it's insane. Glasses marks. I feel like I have not blended it too well, but you cannot see that really in the phone video recording. So yeah, not super impressed. Don't know what my fringe is doing. It's so long that I made it like a little bit curly, but this part of it is gone like way too curly and it's crooked. So yep, we'll update you guys a little bit later, but I just couldn't believe how shiny that nose was. Oh my gosh, like what you can see here, like when I move my head, that's not just reflection, that is like full on oil. I wonder if I could like oil blot it. Hold on. I don't have blotting paper in this bag, but I do have a tissue, so let's give that a go. Can you see the difference of the lack of shine once it's blotted? Oh my goodness. So it's still bright obviously, but it's not like it was before. Okay. Not for anyone who's remotely oily then. I don't know, what does my forehead look like? Well, that's pretty atrocious. Okay, let's just quickly do that too. I mean, the tissue doesn't look like much. Yeah, I'm in the car park. But yeah, that definitely looks a whole lot better and feels a whole lot nicer too. Yeah. Okay, so it is 8. So the foundation has been on for 12 hours now, and actually it is not looking too bad. Hold on, take my glasses off. See what I said about the makeup smudging underneath the eyes? Like, this is the 4th time I've had to sort of like wiggle my finger underneath it to get all of the foundation to sort of smudge back in. Bit sick of it. It is probably one of the biggest downsides I think in the longevity for the foundation, because otherwise it's not looking too bad. But honestly, look at those panda eyes. And it's not the mascara, because it doesn't normally do it to this extent. Like, there's always going to be some sort of transfer, but not this bad, and not 4 times through the day. Oh, terrible. But otherwise, honestly, not that bad. So we've definitely got some strong glasses marks and a fair amount of oil through the T-zone. Like when I touch my nose, I can see it coming off on the tip of my finger there. I do think that the texture of my skin is a bit more apparent, but it's not as bad as it was the other day in the car, where it was literally dripping off my face. But then again, it was a very warm day that day. It's very temperate today, it's not so bad. My forehead is looking okay, considering, and I'm going to chop my bangs straight after this video because they're touching my eyeballs. I don't know how people can do fringes this long. I can't. I can't with it. I honestly can't. So enough rambling. I will let you guys see the rest of the review. So like I said in the start, this is definitely my favorite stick foundation that I have ever tried. The reason that I personally like it so much is because it has a thin silicone-y texture, and it makes it really easy for me to spread it out on the skin. It applies beautifully, so easily, and you can use like a cushion puff to apply it as well, which is really unusual. In general, the other stick foundations that I have tried have had a really thick, creamy formula. They've been hard to blend out. They have like pilled in sections, so rolled up and balled up, and then I'd have like really heavy coverage in places and really light coverage in other places because it was hard to move the product around. And so for that particular reason, I have not liked stick products in the past, because to hold the actual stick shape, you do have to change the formula a little bit. However, I very, very much like how easy this is to apply. However, being that silicone-y texture does give some downsides. So because it is so spreadable, I find that the coverage is light to medium if you build it up. You can do multiple layers, but in saying that, I found that when I did multiple layers, it would kind of melt on my face throughout the day. And I did find for this one the longevity so 50-50. So I included 2 longevity sections for you guys before, because there was one day where I wore it and I went to Auckland, and it wasn't like that hot of a day or anything, but oh my gosh, my face was like melting off. It looked terrible. Like even in the car park footage, it doesn't look that bad, but in real life, it looked atrocious. It was bad. However, I have tried it other days and the longevity was fine, and so it's a bit of a confusing one, but I do think that I am going to keep this one in my collection for now. And the reason that I do want to keep it is basically for travel as well, because I've got my little espoir, but it's going to run out eventually. And so this one, because it is a stick and it is solid, it's less likely to melt all through my bag or have the cap come loose and get everywhere and things like that, just because of the shape that it is. So overall, I think that there are some really good points about this. The things that I personally like, just recap this again. I like the packaging, it's really nice, it's easy to use. I like the application as well. I found it really easy to use the product to spread it out evenly and all of that as well. And for the most part, I like the finish and the longevity. The things that I don't like, it's light to medium coverage. You can build it up, but I find that if I build it up, the longevity is terrible. So there's kind of an even mix between the two. I think it'll be fine for people who have nice skin or don't have that much to cover up or just want lighter coverage. But if you're looking for something that is heavy coverage and is going to last all day, it's just not a product I would recommend for that personal preference there. So thank you guys so much for watching this review, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!